Coming live from Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk. I want to thank all of my loyal viewers for being with me here this morning. This is the very first edition of the Scott Manning YouTube Sports Talk live show. This is a Saturday morning show. The college basketball season is almost ended, so it's time for me to start kind of moving on away from college basketball. I am going to talk about the Sweet 16 games from this past Thursday and Friday night. I'm also going to get you ready for the Elite Eight. However, today I've got 3 games from Major League Baseball that I've got to talk about. Last night, Paul Goldschmidt, the newest acquisition for the St. Louis Cardinals, went yard 3 times. The Diamondbacks and the Dodgers had a 13-inning marathon. And the defending world champion Boston Red Sox had to come from behind to beat the Seattle Mariners last night. I'm going to talk about that this morning. I'm going to get to everything, and you can get my take on everything the sports here this morning. Let's enjoy the show. Let's have a great time, and let's enjoy it, and let's get started. We're going to start it out with the Sweet 16 action from this past Thursday and Friday. What can you say? Virginia is living a charmed life. They survived against Oregon 53-49 on Thursday night in the South region. Ty Jerome had 13.6 rebounds, 6 assists. Gonzaga, they had no problem against Florida State in the West regional semifinal, 72-58. Brandon Clark, 15 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, a double-double for him. Now, I do have to say, in all fairness, my Final Four took a big hit on Thursday. Purdue beat Tennessee 99-94 in overtime. Ryan Klein for Purdue, 27 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. But I got to give some love to Grant Williams, the SEC Player of the Year, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. That was in the South region. In the other West region game, Texas Tech went crazy against Michigan, 63-44. Jared Culver, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and that was a West regional semifinal. Now, the West Regional Final and the South Regional Final are now set for today. Texas Tech will face Gonzaga today at 6:10 p.m. Eastern Time on TBS. Very funny. And in the South Regional Final tonight at 10 till 9, it's going to be Purdue versus Virginia. It would be number 3 Purdue against number 1 Virginia in the South region. Keep that in mind. Now, a lot of people are thinking Gonzaga is going to run away with it. You're probably right. However, Brandon Clark did have 15 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. Now, Jared Culver for Texas Tech did have 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Those are the 2 star players for each team. And I'm going to tell you right now, whoever answers the bell first, that team's going to win. Gonzaga, they're red hot right now. They got a 1 seed despite their early round conference tournament exit. A lot of people still have them down as a team to beat. That remains to be seen. However, Texas Tech, they've got a team that can get the job done. Let's think about it. They shared the Big 12 Conference Championship with Kansas State, and they earned that right. Now, what about the other game? Purdue, Virginia. Now, you know Virginia's style, pass the ball, first team to 50 wins. But that's Virginia's style. Purdue's style is shoot long shots, hit threes. Think about it. Back in the second round, Carson Edwards went crazy and got 42 points. And in the game against Tennessee, Purdue, Ryan Klein was the one that went crazy. 27 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. So who has the edge in this game? I'm going to be honest with you. I've got to give the edge to Purdue over Virginia. A lot of people are thinking, Scott, you're crazy. I don't think so this time. I think Purdue has the advantage. Because if you think about it, they got Carson Edwards, Ryan Klein. Those are the 2 big guys right there. I mean, Carson Edwards has been averaging about 25 points per game, and he had 42 in the round before this. And Ryan Klein had 27. So based on that, I've got to give the edge to Purdue. But in the other game, Texas Tech and Gonzaga, I've got to call this a toss-up. Because if you think about it, you got 2 teams that can really go at it. Now, I've got Gonzaga going all the way to the Final Four. So I'm going to go with Gonzaga to win. But if you really stop and think about it, this game is a toss-up. And that's all there is to it. And the bottom line is, whoever can survive these 2 games will go to the Final Four. And they've earned they earned the ticket to get there. Now, the action from last night. I'll tell you what, Duke has been living a very, very charmed life. Duke against Virginia Tech last night. Duke escaped against Virginia Tech 75-73. A missed layup by Virginia Tech is what gave Duke the victory. In Duke's last 4 of their 8 games, they've won by 2 points or less. Oh, man. And I'll tell you what, I've almost had my heart's almost stopped there a couple times. Think about it against UCF. UCF had a chance to get the job done. They couldn't do it. Virginia Tech, they come out of nowhere and almost pull off the shocker. But Duke's going to the Elite Eight. Trey Jones, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for Duke. For Virginia Tech, Kerry Blackshear Jr., 15 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, a double-double for him. Not enough. Oh, I feel so bad for him. My heart goes out to Kerry Blackshear Jr. this morning. And this was in the East Regional semifinal. Now in the other game, this is the other half of my Final Four. I lost 2 Final Four teams. North Carolina and Tennessee. That was my other Final Four matchup. Out the window. And you could thank the Auburn Tigers for that. Auburn knocked off North Carolina 97-80. Chuma Okeke, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. For North Carolina, Cameron Johnson, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. I've got some very bad news about Okeke, and I'll get to that here in a minute. But first, the other East Regional semifinal game. Michigan State had no problem against LSU, 80-63. Aaron Henry, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists for Michigan State in their victory. And a job well done. Nick Ward. Now, Nick Ward, keep this in mind. You know he had hand surgery on his left hand? Earlier in the game, he fell on that left hand in the first half, and he had to leave the game. He had x-rays immediately done on that hand. X-rays were negative. The status for Sunday's game, we don't know yet. I'll get to that. We don't know yet. And that's all there is to it. All right, in the other game, Kentucky, they had to come back against Houston. The Houston Cougars came back down from double digits at one point, and Kentucky came back out of nowhere to get the big victory over Houston in the Midwest Regional semifinal. And it was a 62-58 victory. Tyler Hero was the hero last night. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. But I've got to give some love to Armani Brooks. 20 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. So now, the other half of the Elite Eight is all set for Sunday. These are your Sunday matchups. Auburn versus Kentucky. And I've got bad news. Chuma Okeke fell and hurt his knee. It hurt his knee. He had to go to the locker room. And I got some bad news. And even Bruce Pearl even said he is doubtful. And that's not good news. Because Bruce Pearl knows he knows Kentucky's a great team. Kentucky has swept Auburn this season. And this is going to be a rematch. And here's the sad part about Okeke. He's been averaging 17 points per game for crying out loud. So now Auburn is really in trouble. And because of that, and because of the performance that Kentucky gave against Houston, I got to give the advantage to Kentucky because without Okeke, Auburn is in trouble. And think about it. Kentucky, Tyler Hero, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Reed Travis was a beast last night. And that's going to be a very interesting game to see how that goes. Now, the East Regional Final. This is the 5 o'clock game Sunday on CBS. Michigan State versus Duke. Who has the advantage? A lot of people are saying it's going to be Michigan State that has the edge. And here's why. They can hit 3-point shots, but it could come down to a layup at the end of the game for Michigan State to get the job done. So I'm going to go along with that, and I'm going to say that Michigan State has a very slight edge. Very slight. But think about Duke. Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett. They can do a lot of damage too. Trey Jones. But also, too, keep in mind, Duke's going to be minus Cam Reddish. And that could be a very big problem down the road. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going with Michigan State to upset Duke. And I know Duke was my national championship pick. I picked them to win the national title. But considering how close Duke has come to losing a couple of those games, they almost gave it away, one away to UCF. They almost gave it away against Virginia Tech last night. Based on the evidence presented before me, I've got to go with Michigan State knocking off Duke. I'm sorry, Duke fans, but that's just the way it is. Bottom line. So tonight's Elite Eight action is going to be Texas Tech versus Gonzaga tonight at 6:10 this evening here on TBS. And then at 10 till 9 tonight at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time, it will be the South Regional Final. Purdue versus Virginia. Those are your Saturday matchups for tonight. Then tomorrow afternoon, starting at 2:20 on CBS, it is going to be Auburn versus Kentucky. I've got a strange feeling Auburn's is going to be a blowout. And Michigan State versus Duke in the East region at 5:05 on CBS. I got to give the slight advantage to Michigan State. And that's all there is to it. And there's been some struggles down the road in that area. Okay. That is your Sweet 16. That's your NCAA Tournament news, and that's all your action for the last 2 nights. I apologize for not going on the air, but I had a couple of baseball games that I decided to watch into the wee hours of the morning when I thought it was a very dumb move on my part. I apologize for that. But I'm going to talk about them here this morning. 3 games last night that really stuck out to me. Now, the Cardinals faced the Brewers last night, and the Cardinals came out winners 9-5. Paul Goldschmidt, 4 for 5, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. And this is the Paul Goldschmidt that came over from they got traded from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And this is the same Paul Goldschmidt that on Thursday, on opening day, went over 3, struck out 3 times. Matt Carpenter, he stuck out to me in the Cardinals' victory over Milwaukee. 2 for 5, 2 runs, and an RBI. Thursday, he was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Paul DeJong, he was 2 for 5 with an RBI. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts on Thursday. Now, for the Milwaukee Brewers, this is bad. Lorenzo Cain, 2 for 4, 1 run in the game on Friday. But on Thursday, on opening day, he was 1 for 4, struck out once. Christian Yelich, 2 for 3 on Friday, 2 runs and an RBI. And he had a walk. He was 1 for 2 on Thursday with a run and a home run, 3 RBIs and 2 walks. Ryan Braun for the Brewers, 2 for 4 on run, 3 RBIs, and he had a strikeout. And on Thursday, he was only 1 for 4. You know what? I think the Cardinals now have a shot of winning the National League Central. Paul Goldschmidt was the bat that the Cardinals needed very badly. And in the game on Thursday, Lorenzo Cain robbed the Cardinals of a home run, which gave him a 5-4 victory. He said, and his son said, not today. But you know what, though? It was open. But you know what? The Cardinals beating the Brewers on Friday night, that was a big game. Paul Goldschmidt was the bat that the Cardinals needed. And on top of that, think about it. They've got a 1-2-3 punch in the bullpen. I talked about that on my opening day show the other day, if you didn't have a chance to see it. But I'll tell you right now, Goldschmidt in the lineup really helps Matt Carpenter. And Cardinals manager Mike Schmidt said, we're going to make some noise this year. I got some guys that can get the job done. I got Dexter Fowler, and I got some guys. I got 3 positions and 5 guys. That's going to be very hard for me to see who plays and who doesn't, and who can step up to the plate. So now, what happens today? The St. Louis Cardinals have Dakota Hudson going. Last year, he was 4 for 1 with a 2.63 ERA. How will he do today against the Milwaukee's Brent? How will he do today? Hopefully, he'll do very well. For the Milwaukee Brewers, Brandon Woodruff, he was 3-0 last year with a 3.61 ERA. And it's his 3rd appearance against the St. Louis Cardinals, and it's his first career start. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how this one goes. And that game is today. Now, you'll have to check your local listings because it's not on nationally. Keep that in mind. And now, what a game last night. The defending world champion Boston Red Sox are back. A 7-6 victory last night. And I mean, they were on the ropes. The Red Sox were down 6-1 after 5 innings, and they still got the job done. Andrew Benintendi, 0 for 4. For the Red Sox last night, Andrew Benintendi, 0 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout. On opening day, he was 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, a strikeout. Mookie Betts, 1 for 5 with a strikeout. And he was 3 for 5 with a run on Thursday, on opening day. JD Martinez, 1 for 4, a home run, an RBI, and a strikeout. And he was 2 for 5 on Thursday with an RBI and a strikeout. Xander Bogaerts, 1 for 3, a run, an RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. He was 1 for 4 on Thursday with 2 walks and a K himself. For the Seattle Mariners, Keep this in mind. Malik Smith, 1 for 3, a home run, 2 RBIs, and a walk. And he struck out once. On Thursday, he was 1 for 5, walked 3 times, and yet he struck out twice. Mitch Hagner, 1 for 5, struck out twice. 2 for 4, 2 runs and a walk and a strikeout on Thursday. Those were his Thursday numbers. Domingo Santana, 2 for 3 with a home run, an RBI. He walked twice and struck out once. On Thursday, in the opener, he was 3 for 5, 2 runs, a double, a home run, 4 RBIs and struck out twice. Now, what was the deciding factor in this game? Mitch Moreland, he with a pinch hit home run to win it in the top of the ninth for the Boston Red Sox. Moreland got the job done. And think about this. For the Red Sox, Nathan Eovaldi, 5 solid innings pitched. He pitched 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, struck out 3 times. He gets a no decision. Brian Johnson gets the win. He pitched an inning, and he struck out 3 times. He struck out 3. Matt Barnes gets his first save of 2017. He pitched an inning, struck out 2. Now, what about the Boston Red Sox? What about the Seattle Mariners? Who gets the loss? Hunter Strickland, was with the San Francisco Giants 1 year ago. Last year, he's now with the Seattle Mariners. He pitched a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 earned runs. That was bad. And the Red Sox beat the Mariners 7-6. For the Red Sox, what's going to happen today, or what's going to happen tonight out on the West Coast? Eduardo Rodriguez gets a start. Last year, he was 13-5 with a 3.82 ERA. He faces Mike Leake of the Mariners. He was 10-10 last year with a 4.36 ERA. What's going to happen today? We'll have to wait and see on that. What's going to happen in this game? We'll have to wait and see on that. But the bottom line is, this is going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. After what happened last night, we don't know what's going to happen. But I hope it's not going to be too crazy. Now, if you thought those 2 games were something, last night's Arizona-LA Dodgers game went into the wee hours of the morning on the West Coast, in the western part of the country. The Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 5-4 in 13 innings. And I mean, you think about some of these numbers, it was Christian Walker with a pinch hit home run, which was the difference in that ball game. And Carson Kelly had a pinch hit double in the 13th to win it. But listen to some of these numbers and you'll see what I'm talking about. Jared Dyson, 1 for 5, 2 walks, struck out twice. And these are the Diamondbacks numbers. Jared Dyson, 1 for 5, 2 walks, struck out twice. Eduardo Escobar, 0 for 7 last night, struck out twice. On Thursday, on opening day, he was 2 for 4, had a double and struck out once. David Peralta, 3 for 6 with a run, a double, and a strikeout. The only real hot shining spot for the Diamondbacks in their victory. And he was 1 for 4 with a run and a strikeout on Thursday in the opener. Adam Jones, the former Baltimore, he was with the Orioles last year. He comes over to Arizona. He goes 1 for 6 with a double and a strikeout. On Thursday, on opening day, he was 2 for 4 with a home run, with an RBI, with a home run, RBI, and a strikeout. Jake Lamb, 1 for 5 with a walk. He struck out 3 times. Ketel Marte, 0 for 6 with an RBI, and he struck out once. He was 0 for 3 with an RBI and a strikeout on Thursday on opening day. Nick Ahmed, 1 for 5, 2 runs, a walk, and he had a strikeout in the ball game. On Thursday, he was 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Alex Avila, 1 for 4 with a run, walked twice and struck out once. Robbie Ray, the starting pitcher in that game, 0 for 2, struck out twice. And the Diamondbacks still won, which was unbelievable. Now, here are the Dodgers numbers. And think about this for a minute. This was absolutely unbelievable. Enrique Hernandez, 1 for 6, a run, had walked once and struck out once. On Thursday, on opening day, he was 2 for 3 with 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and a walk. Justin Turner, 1 for 4, walked twice, struck out 3 times. On Thursday, Turner was 0 for 5. David Freese, in his first start of the year, the former St. Louis Cardinal, 0 for 4, walked once, struck out 3 times. A.J. Pollock, the only real bright spot for the Dodgers, 4 for 6, 2 runs, a home run, 3 RBIs, a double, a walk, and a strikeout. And on Thursday on opening day, he was 0 for 3 with a walk. Corey Seager, 1 for 6, an RBI, a walk, 3 strikeouts. And on Thursday, on opening day, he was 1 for 3 with a home run, RBI, a walk, and a strikeout. Jock Peterson, 1 for 4 with a walk. Hey, man. Hey, how are you? Hey, welcome aboard. Hey, welcome, man. I'm glad to have you. Hey, if you want to subscribe to my channel, feel free. I'll be more than happy to take you. Now, anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Jock Peterson, 1 for 4 with a walk, and that was on Friday. On Thursday, on opening day, he was a hot 3 for 5 with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and a strikeout. Cody Bellinger, he was 1 for 5 with a walk, and he had a strikeout, and he had 1 stolen base. And that was on Friday. On Thursday, he was 2 for 4, 2 runs, a home run, and an RBI. Hello, man. Welcome aboard. Hey, man. I'm glad to see you. I am so glad to have you aboard. All right. Russell Martin in that game, 1 for 3 with a run, 3 walks, and a strikeout. That was his first game of the year. Max Muncy, he was 0 for 3 with a strikeout. And on Thursday, on opening day, he was 1 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and struck out once. This was the second longest game in the history, the second longest regular season game in the history of Dodger Stadium. And also, too, think about this. And you think that was a long game? Remember the 7-hour, 20-minute marathon in Game 3 of the World Series last year? That was the longest game in the history of Dodger Stadium, and Chavez Ravine was going crazy. And here's the sad part about this. The Dodgers had chances in the 9th, in the 10th, and the 12th to win it. They blew it. Wow. What else can you say? So now, let's think about the pitching numbers. Robbie Ray, he pitched 5 solid innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. He had 5 walks, 9 strikeouts, and gave up a home run. He gets a no decision. Matt Andriese will get the win for the Diamondbacks. He pitched 2 solid innings, and I know 4 walks sounds bad, but he does get the win. And Greg Conlon, he pitched 1 solid inning, struck out 2, and gets the win. And for the Dodgers, Ross Stripling, he pitched 5 solid innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 walk, struck out 5. The sad part about this is he gets a no decision. Yimi Garcia, 1 inning pitch, a hit, an earned run, 2 walks, struck out twice. He gets the loss. He gave that game away, and that's all there was to it. So now what's up? So what's on the mind for the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers today? Zach Goodley will go for the Diamondbacks. I don't have any of his numbers yet. I didn't get his numbers from last year, but I hope I can get them. And for the Dodgers, Kenton Medea. He will be the one going for the Dodgers later tonight. Bottom line. I will say this, though. Those 3 games were crazy games last night. But I'm going to tell you right now, if last night was any indication, this year's baseball season is going to be very, very hot and very highly contested. And that's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you can say. What a Friday night it was. College basketball Thursday and Friday with opening day. On Thursday, I forgot to write all down. I didn't get a chance to do an opening day post show. I do apologize for that. But I did a post game show, kind of a late night, kind of a morning post game show to kind of make up for it. But Friday's action in Major League Baseball was crazy. Everybody's back in action today. It's going to be a long day for me. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be very interesting to see how this baseball season goes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for my closing thought. And then after my closing thought, I'm going to be making an announcement concerning the format going forward. Going forward after college basketball. Last night, what we saw with Duke and Zion was incredible. The Duke Blue Devils have been living a charmed life. They've been escaping by the hair on their chinny chin. Excuse the old nursery rhyme. But what we saw out of Auburn last night, their star player is not going to be playing. Bruce Pearl gave a very, very slim or very dim outlook of what's going to happen against Kentucky in the Elite Eight. We all knew that going in. Now, Kentucky has beaten Auburn twice this season. And there's some truth for you. But I'm going to tell you this. The Elite Eight is going to be very interesting tonight and tomorrow. And the bottom line is, whoever wins it, wins it. But I'm going to say this, though. We've been talking about this a lot. Now, I've been talking about basketball is a great game, but it's also a game of inches. Just like baseball. Every sport, you either win by a lot or you win by this much. And that's all there is to it. But what we saw last night, out on the West Coast between the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, some of the star players have a bad night, and it showed. And it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of this baseball season goes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, I want to make an announcement concerning the format going forward. What's going to happen is, college basketball ends very soon. We had the Elite Eight this weekend. I'll be doing an Elite Eight post-game, kind of a quick Elite Eight post-game on Monday. And get you ready, and also get you ready for the Final Four. But after the Final Four, I'll do a Final Four preview on Friday night. But actually, you know what? I'm going to change that up. Friday night, I will be doing. I'm going to be doing a general sports talk show. We're going back to regular sports as soon as the college, starting this Friday night. Starting this Friday night at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be talking regular sports. You will not be seeing any college basketball stuff until Saturday afternoon before the Final Four. And that's all there is to it. And I'm going to do a quick wrap-up on Tuesday morning after the Final Four is over, after the national championship game, and then after that, it's strict regular sports after that. So I'll be making some notes. I'll be handing out notifications I'll be sending out notifications to some of my viewers. I'll be passing along this information. But the bottom line is, college basketball is almost over, and starting today, it's time to move on. I've got to move on to other things. I missed out on a lot during the NFL during the NFL offseason. I missed some crazy things in the NBA. I've got to start covering that a little bit more. And if you folks will stick with me, and we'll have a fun ride. But just because college basketball is ending doesn't mean I'm going away. No, no, no. I got a lot of subscribers, and I got a lot of friends in a lot of high places. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I want to thank you guys so much for being with me here tonight. I'll probably be back tonight. I haven't decided yet. After both games of the Elite Eight, we'll hopefully have one Final Four matchup decided. But I'll probably be back tonight to talk baseball and talk other sports news of the day. But I want to thank you guys for being with me here this morning. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much for being with me, and God bless. Goodbye, everybody, and thank you.